Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't had the PIO from San Quentin, smash that subscribe button. Go ahead and have her smash it right now. First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the following patrons: Ruben, Cornbread Killer, Herb Yuma, AZ, CJ Savala, Coleslaw, EOP Whisperer, Las Vegas Flights Live, Shower Shark, Fuck Your Chest Pains, Priya These Nuts, Lockdown 5, Crystal Bond, La Reina, Hernan, Don't Trip, Winston, Armando, Alejandro, Trailero 760, Breathing Underwater, El Skid, Hobie Cat, Lead with Love, Elber 12, AI Vega, Esquiel, Big Bad 48, JT, Nova, Linda, the Retired CO, Michigan Wolverines, Mikey 559, the homie Marius Chevelle 66, Abuelita Irma, Abuelita's Journey, Gigi, and Daus Herrero. If you have not already signed up to that growing list of Patreons, make sure you hit that link in the description below. You are definitely missing out. This episode right here, man, I swear, when I sat down, I had about 4 things I wanted to talk about, could have talked about. 1, I'm going to wait to see if it's actually true. 2, I was about to start talking about something, and then I noticed a discrepancy in the information, and I'm like, pump the brakes, man. Your boy does not put out fake news. I have not put out fake news up until this point, and I will not, won't do it, right? So I almost talked about walkaways. What's the difference between a walkaway and escape from a level 1 yard? But that's kind of boring, man. So let's talk about the Big Four, right? For the reference, nobody calls it the Big fucking Four in the California Department of Corrections. Nobody. At all, right? That's a terminology used out here to reflect on what's happening in there. But nonetheless, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? So now that you guys know, man, now that you guys know, Warriors, that COs in green are not just beating the dog shit out of inmates for no reason. In 2023, right, this isn't the Greenwald gang, that rest in peace Greenwald gang, right? You guys know this, right? You guys see little baristas, and again, it's not disrespect, it's a descriptive thingy, right? Look at a barista, look at a CO now. Now, the Big Four. Are the Big Four the same as the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s? No, you guys know this. Now that everybody's here, everybody's on the playing level field, what do? What do we talk about? Let's talk about the future. But before we talk about the future, we have to talk about the past, right? One might say we'll come up with a solution altogether. I'm worth more alive than I am dead, guys. Keep that in mind. In the old days, prison was prison. People committed crimes out on the streets. They got sentenced to a lengthy prison term. Ooh, that's when men were men, G. That's when you had males and females in the world. They had those big brochas. They had tattoos. They were bad weights, so they were big and muscular. So, at some point in time, if you participated in criminal activity, your ass was going to wind up in prison, okay? So the big dogs, the heavy hitters, decided to create prison gangs. Okay, they came up with a great idea. They're like, hey, man, eventually these criminal guys are going to end up in here with us, right? So why don't we just control through violence in here and I hate to use the word extort, but it is actually extort, tax. Let's use the word tax. Tax the youngsters, tax the little homies, right? Tax the street soldiers. And again, goes back to protection. When they come into a prison, they're good to go, right? They're good. Everything's on the up and up. We ride as one. That's cool. That makes sense. You have people conducting crimes. They know they're going to go to prison. It's the old days when you used to go to prison for committing crimes, okay? Some were getting life without the possibility of parole, when life meant life. Okay, cool. Everything is making sense. This is working. This system is working. You have young soldiers aspiring, looking at these heavy hitters in these prison gangs. And it's like, okay, man, I know I'm doing the dirt on the streets. I know I'm going to end up in prison. As a matter of fact, it's my goal to end up in prison. So I will be there. So I'm going to do everything in my power to make my career, my path, the most successful by making a name for myself, by putting in work, such, and so on and so forth. So what happened? A lot of things happened. The world happened. First, California pulled a fast one on the heavy hitters and put them away in Pelican Bay and in Corcoran for 30 years. Was that a good thing or a bad thing, Hector? For me, that's neither here nor there. It created what it created, right? And my hat's off to those individuals. Hey, I'm going to be respectful. That were able to endure that, because I couldn't. I'll be straight up. I'm not going to lie to you. I wouldn't. I'll take myself out the first day. Why? I'm not going to do it. Right? I'm not going to do that. So things changed, man. Laws changed, right? The 3 strikes came. Everybody started filling up the prisons. And then you had people working on behalf of them. Those guys were making bad calls, whether on purpose, accident, lack of experience, lack of knowledge. Again, fuck's calling me. It's a Ring doorbell. Sometimes I have to reach for 1 gun, 2 guns, or 3 guns when I see my Ring doorbell go off. And that's just the first level of defense. Don't get any fucking ideas, man. First the tripwire goes off, then the lasers, then the Ring doorbell, then the internal alarm, then the dog, then the external alarm, right? Yeah, I might have a couple barriers somewhere, but it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. My house is rigged like Home Alone. You ain't gonna come get me. Gee. But with all due respect, please. So I've already made peace with myself, right? It's like, all right, here we go. Not today. Take that pill that fucking Hitler took. Right? Anyhow, the fuck motherfucker lost his goddamn mind. Anyhow, right? So what the hell happened? Well, laws changed. They started letting lifers go home. Your boy saw that in the department, right? Your boy saw that. Your boy saw when they started letting lifers go home, the mentalities flipped. Like, fuck this. Centinela on level 4, Charlie RGP, inmates were coming up to the program office and saying, hey, Sarge, here's a knife. They want me to go stab somebody. I'm not going to do it. I want to go home. Cool, put your hands behind your back. Now you're going to the hole for possession of a weapon. Just kidding. Anyhow, right? So you saw a lot of that. So you lose. Yeah, it's not called loyalty. Is it called loyalty? I mean, if people are making their own decisions, what the fuck is it called? I'm giving up game here. Now I'm going to give up game. All right. So that happened. You lost the loyalty of soldiers, and this is all for all organizations. As a result of, they got hope, right? They got hope. That's one thing. So maybe you could backtrack, right? Mistreatment. Let's keep it real, man. Mistreatment. The mistreatment of the soldiers, man. Ain't nobody like to get dicked around. Probably not even a homeless person. A homeless person that has nothing, right? You get their half-bitten apple with a worm and you just like knock it over. You're going to agitate that fucking homeless man, right? Because he's going to be like, hey, dude, what the fuck, dick? I didn't do nothing to you. After he yells at the air and does everything else. That was a changing factor, right? Why do you think so many people went SNY? That is the sole reason. I just gave you an answer. Right, this is an open book test, okay? So they got hope. They got discouraged. The morale went out the window, and I know a lot about morale. Marcus Pollard fucking sucked the morale out of Donovan, right? And the end game. The end game. So if in the beginning the end game was to hold down a prison, a correctional, if the end goal was to hold down a correctional facility statewide to control the people, the money, and the dope, too many factors. The state of California is letting everybody out. So the people you're supposed to be controlling are gone now. They're leaving. They're choosing to leave, right? The mistreatment, SNY. Probably about beside you. Okay, I think everybody by now on YouTube or viewers should know that, hey, just because you're SNY does not mean you were garbage, does not mean you were trash, does not mean you got put in the hat for doing something wrong, right? As opposed to like somebody who actively seeks SNY. That would be a whole different story. So that changed, right? The perception of SNY changed. I'm not even going to get to the starting of the. I'm not even going to get into the creation of SNY gangs, right? I'm not even going to do it because you can fix this whole problem without even thinking about that problem. Is that a problem? Just take that out of the equation, right? Look at what happened from point A to point B to point C. And it should actually be easier to fix the fucking problem because of the use of cell phones. Man, although they could be facing the same problems that we are out here in the streets, right? Remember back in the day when you would go to the movie theaters with a hyena that you met on the radio? And you'll be like, hey, meet me at the drive-in right there in Imperial. Yeah, me and the homie are going to be there rolled through at 7 p.m. on Friday. Cool. You hang up the motherfucking house phone, right? It has a cord. You put it on the wall. Hey, there's no MapQuest. There's no Google. There's no motherfucking cell phones. Barely pagers at the time, not even. So your ass shows up. Hey, Mom, I need a ride to the movies. What the hell? What movie are you going to go watch? Man, you be ruining everything, Mom. Man, I can't do nothing around here, right? So, I'm telling you, man, it's not that I want to fix a problem. Well, I do want to fix a problem. And here's my whole theory. I can only look at Iraq, right? When Saddam was there, yeah, it was very unfucking fortunate for a lot of fucking people. But the state of that country was not in disarray. Motherfucking ISIS got formed. Oh, dude. So, back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board. Back to negotiations with the heads of CDCR. I think I said this the other day on the live, too. You've got to stop the train. The train is out of control. You have to stop the fucking train. Period. With that, the message for today is... The message for today is... I was talking to a friend earlier, man. One that I haven't talked to. Shout out to him. And the reason I hadn't talked to him is because he always talked a lot of shit, man. He works at somewhere where I used to work recently. And then he tells me yesterday, like, oh, man, you couldn't hack it. You couldn't take it. You're weak-minded. That's why you left the department. Clearly, he still doesn't get it, right? And I'm like, damn, bro, doesn't get it. You know what I text him this morning? I text him this. I text him, say one more bad thing about me. I'll call the cops and put a restraining order on you. Then you'll lose your job. Then what will you do? All you know how to do is be a knuckle dragger. The whole point is this is a smarter choice, right? Chess, not checkers. Right? I'll run circles around these fools, right? Green. Motherfuckers run circles. Boop. Right? I was running circles in there around them. I'll run circles out here. So the message for today is, hey, don't let peer pressure get to you. Don't let your homies get to you. If you sit back and you reflect to yourself, man, what do I want to do? What do I really want to do? Do I want to continue doing this? Do I want to choose a different route? There ain't nothing wrong with choosing a different route, man. And honestly, that's the best fucking option. With that, keep pushing forward.